inline JavaScripts and functions are great, but what if you want to do some code reuse? Like if you want to put things in an external JavaScript file, you can, but there's a few gotchas. Let's take a look here. I'm going to make an empty app. Let's call this 10-11. And we're going to make basically the same application we've been making. So I'm going to just say ID root, and then I'm just going to just crank through this code because we've done this a bunch of times already. Color red, and let's set our XY position. So I'm going to say X0, Y. And let's say height divided by 2. Sometimes I get typing a little too fast and I get lost in what I'm doing. So we're going to add our mouse area, and I need to slow down just a smidge because IntelliSense gets super helpful when we get into there. Anchors fill, parent, and now we want to actually implement this. So we want to do two quick things. First off, we want to be able to set the color, and we want to be able to track the press and move it around. Whew. All right, so save our work, right click, add new, and this is where we're going to start hunting through here. Well, under Qt, you can see there is this JS file, which is, you guessed it, a JavaScript file. Let's name this code. Don't want stateless, and just next, next, finish. It makes this little guy, and there's a function template already in there for us. And this is pure JavaScript without any of the complexities of QML in there. And I'm going to say print. Can just do the magic of copy and paste, one of the best things ever invented. And let's go ahead and var max, and this code should look very, very familiar because we've done this before. Now, I'm going to say root dot, and you notice how IntelliSense is not popping up and helping us here. This is something you could easily goof up. If root is never defined, you're going to get object not defined, but it will work because we're going to use it in here, and root is defined. This is a major no-no. I'm doing it just to demonstrate that you can, although you really shouldn't. So the question becomes, if you shouldn't do this, what should you do? Well, you should actually pass it as a parameter up here. Notice how we're doing obj.width. You could actually put root up here. And I'm going to say obj.x. Notice how suddenly it's super picky and it doesn't want to do any type coercion. All right, so now we're back to this. That's that JavaScript engine kicking in, where before it wasn't doing it. All right, I'm going to put in a little comment here. So there's our perform click, and let's actually do a function called swap color. And obj press, you guess it, this is the mouse area that we're interacting with. And we're going to say all right, let's go ahead and wire these in. First thing we need to do, flip over to main, and we need to actually import. So we're going to say import code.js, and we have to say as, meaning we're going to actually create an object here. So what's happening under the hood is this is being loaded up into an item in the background for us, and that item's being called code. Going to put a little copy and paste action here. There we go. That way, if you have any questions And I'm going to put the link here just in case anybody wants to read it. JavaScript expressions for QML. Let's go ahead and wire this up. So now we can just simply say code dot ta-da, swap color. We're going to give it that area because if we read this, it is swap color is obj press. So it's obviously looking for a mouse area here. That is some of the problems right there with JavaScript is there's really no type checking. So we could have passed it the rectangle and had some disastrous results. Likewise, we're going to demonstrate something here. So we're going to say on clicked, and we want code perform click, and I'm going to say box. Everything looks good, and if we save and run, assuming we typed everything okay, it works. It beautifully works. However, go back to our little JavaScript here. Remember I said don't do that. Let's change this. I don't know what to call it. Rudy, why not? Nothing's visibly broken, and it runs. But now it suddenly doesn't work. I'm clicking away and it's not moving. Why? Look at our app output. Reference error root is not defined. That is why you don't do that. So realistically, what you should do is grab this. Now root's suddenly defined. We can go in here. Wow, I got a bunch of these open. Let's kill all those. And let's go with, that was under perform click. Save run. Uh-oh, still not working. Why? Reference error, root not defined. You can see how you can easily get yourself into a trouble here. So once you start playing around with that, it's kind of a hole you can't dig yourself out of. We're going to flip that ID back to root. Now let's try it. Save run. It magically works. Ta-da! Big takeaway from this is yes, you can put JavaScript in an external file. Do not use IDs in here. Always pass them as a parameter. Otherwise, you're going to run into some big problems. And when you put it into an external file, although you can access objects, they're not guaranteed to exist.